Hello, welcome back to Send Him Off. My name is Sam, and joining me, as always, is my ever-present podcasting partner, Alex. How's it going, mate? You good?
Sporting a new hairdo as well. Look at that.
I know.
Freshening up, getting
Yeah.
ready for the pre-season and all that. But yeah, we're all good. And we're not alone, as we never are anymore. It's never just us
No,
two. We never
I'm
get
sick. I'm sick of you, mate. We got to have a guess now.
we never get mom and dad time anymore.
I'm bored of just talking to you. No, we are joined by the producer of the. I mean, it's a bit of a phenomenon at the minute. It's a
Yeah.
hugely successful podcast. Have a word, Finn. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing?
I'm good. Good. Thanks for having me.
No worries, mate.
Thanks for coming on.
Big fan of the pod as well. Like it's my
Nice.
it's my commute to work and commute back to work.
Have you got a long commute to work?
No, it's about half an hour. So like sort of 2 days I'll finish an episode.
Okay.
So
okay.
that tends to be how I work it.
Yeah.
But yeah, big fan. So we've had Ishan on before, who's quite
He's
regular.
horrible, isn't he? He's horrible.
No, we're big fans of Ishan. We've had him on twice, I think, have we? I think he did
he did
one of these episodes, which is what football means to me. And then he came on he was
good
Man
enough to
United
come and
fan.
do a pre-season, yeah.
Yeah, because we did at the start of every season, we get fans from every Premier League side to do like a 50-minute preview of the season.
Oh, nice.
So we managed to have him
I
back.
don't think he was as optimistic about the season, if I remember.
No, I don't think he was, but they've done all right. So
Too bad.
But
anyway,
yeah, Finn, a Liverpool fan.
Yes.
How's this season been? Dare I ask? Or
It's been. I can't complain compared to a lot of other clubs, but compared to the past few seasons where we've been so lucky to be in every competition pretty much to the end, this season's felt like torture. And it's been like there's been the odd result where you're like, okay, right, we've got something. So there was the Bournemouth game at the start of the season. You're like, okay, right, fine. It was a bit of a blip. And you had a while where it was the same inconsistencies and stuff. The United game was obviously a highlight. But yeah, it's been just want next season now. I
was going to say, if I was a Liverpool fan, I'd feel like I'm just fed up of it right now. I just want the season to end. We'll call it a day year, have a break over the summer, and then just get back to it then.
Yeah,
August, September.
I'd really rather not have this Conference League next year, which seems to be the most likely outcome. Just because who cares? Whereas, Europa League, I'll take it. We'll make do. But yeah, I'd rather not have that
Conference. It's a bit of a Mickey Mouse, isn't it? It's a bit of a Mickey Mouse.
And it's also the teams that historically haven't had Europe in a season tend to do quite well in the league. So here's hoping anyway.
Fingers crossed. Well, just before we dive into the sort of the nostalgia bit of the episode, if you could pinpoint anything as to why Liverpool have or haven't reached the heights they have, what would you put it down to if there is a single thing?
This season?
Yeah.
Oh, the midfield's the obvious one.
Yeah.
The midfield. And it's been a combination of an aging midfield and also Fabinho was space jammed at the start of the season. I don't know what happened there. He just became a League Two player when he was one of the best CDMs in the world the past few years. So it's been a bit of a weird one. So that hasn't helped. But definitely the midfield, yeah.
Are you going to point the finger at Klopp at all, or?
No, I'd die for that man. No, he can do what he wants. No, obviously there's been the recruitment wasn't right, and especially now where it looks like we're not getting Bellingham, it makes no sense to have waited 2 summers to get Bellingham to not get him and get Conor Gallagher or whoever we're going to get. So there's obviously some finger pointing there, some weird substitutions throughout the season, bringing James Milner on when we're losing and stuff like that. It's just a bit odd, but no, he's the closest manager I've ever seen other than maybe Fergie to being unsackable.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'm not his biggest fan, I'll be honest. But
as you said many times on this podcast.
Yeah, I have. But he is. I don't see how the blame can be at his door at all this season.
No. It's a lot of things. So hopefully they sort that out in the summer and go again next season.
Yeah,
back stronger and all that.
And all that.
There we are. Right. Let's dive into it. So we always start, Finn, with something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. So is he something old? Is your favorite retired player? Doesn't have to be a Liverpool player. Can be anybody.
Okay. Well, there's loads. I'll go for non-Liverpool then, just to make it not boring, and I'll go for Thierry Henry.
Great shout.
It's a standard one. Everyone loves Thierry Henry.
Who-
I think
yeah,
his
you
career
can't
on BT has helped him. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, the midweek stuff with Mika
Yeah.
and Jamie Carragher's been great. I really like that style of like loose punditry. I hope that gets brought in instead of all the pointing out the obvious stuff that is going on with Sky and stuff at the minute. But yeah, he was just such a
Sexy man.
Yeah, I was gonna say sexy.
Yeah, you can't. That's the only word to describe him, isn't it?
He was a sexy man off the pitch. He was a sexy man on the pitch. He just was mercurial and kind of so graceful. And yeah, I've got a lot of love for Thierry.
There we are. So that's something old, something new. So your favorite current football player, again, doesn't have to be Liverpool.
Does it need to be someone new, as in like this season?
Someone playing now. Doesn't
Just
have to be
anybody
somebody who's
playing.
playing who isn't retired.
Okay, let's have a think. Because there's all the obvious ones. So there's like Messi and Salah and stuff like that. Who do I like watching? I love Adama Traore. I'll go for Adama Traore.
Really?
Great shout. It's a great shout.
I love a player that doesn't look like they should be a footballer. And doesn't kind of have the attributes to be a footballer, but has something. So he is just built. He's huge, isn't he? And
I remember seeing him when he was playing for Middlesbrough against the Swans, and we're Swansea fans. I remember seeing them fetch him on at the time because he was still sort of like, half and half. He wasn't quite sure and he was in the team and that. And they fetched him on, and everybody in the stadium just turned and said, "Who on earth has just walked onto the field?" But there, he was massive. But is it true? I don't know if I believe this, that he doesn't work out. Is he?
He says that, doesn't he?
He must work out.
I remember him coming through early on at Barcelona when he was like 17, 18, and he was quite scrawny.
He was a little.
It seemed like overnight he just bulked up. I don't think that happens naturally. I'm waiting for it to happen to me. It will one day.
I'm in the gym,
you and me both, Finn. You and me both.
Yeah.
No, he's a good one to watch though. I love the baby oil on the arms as well. Like that is brilliant. That he just does that every single match.
And his shirt is like a size too small. 100%.
Yeah, it definitely is, isn't it? Yeah.
100%.
There we are. Something borrowed. So your favorite ever loaned player? So a player on loan.
This is Liverpool.
Oh right, okay. Who have we had a loan that's been any good? We've had some crap loans, We've really not been. I'm gonna have forgotten some of them, but the first one that came to mind was Nuri Sahin, and I think that's because he's Turkish. He's Turkish.
I forgot about him.
And well, it's him or like Stephen Kolker, or we've really not had good loans. I'm trying to think of anyone we've had that's been good on loan. I'm probably forgetting someone, but yeah.
Was David Ngog on loan to you?
No, he was on loan to us from.
No, he was a Liverpool player.
He was honestly one of the worst players I've ever seen in a pair of boots.
Yeah, he was
absolute garbage.
He was our starting striker for a bit. Those are the days.
He was our starting striker for a bit and all.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of one off the top of my head, so I'll go for Nuri Sahin. I remember he scored. I think he scored a goal against Norwich. It's just like one goal, but he was Turkish. And I was like, yes, we've got him. We've got our man. This is it. This is the guy we're going to build our team around. And no, he left for another loan halfway through the season. He was only there 6 months.
Brilliant.
I love an obscure answer for that one. It's fantastic. Something blue.
Something blue. So the player you were saddest to see leave your club.
Oh, Fernando Torres.
Really? Not Suarez?
Yeah, that was upsetting, but I was a bit older then. Whereas Torres, I think, when was that, like 2011? So I would have been, I would have been like 12. And I would remember just being absolutely brokenhearted. And Andy Carroll, it was like, why Andy Carroll? Why have we replaced? Like looking back, it kind of makes sense. Torres was out of form, and we were never going to get 50 million for him again. And since that move, he just didn't do anything really. But at the time, I was just devastated because he was my hero. Him and Gerrard were just gods in my eyes. So yeah, I think he's the one that broke my heart. Bobby Firmino is going to be a sad one when he leaves this summer. It's nice we've got a bit of time to prepare for it. But yeah,
Hasn't just come out of the blue like.
yeah. It's they've kind of peeled the plaster off. They've not just torn it off like they did with
Sure.
Torres. But yeah, Suarez was definitely a sad one as well. Pepe Reina. There's lots of players that I was very sad about.
Mane,
It's
Torres was number one.
an emotional game, isn't it?
Sadio Mane.
Yeah, Mane was a sad one. I've got my brother's sure he's coming back this summer. I don't see it, but
I think it'd be wrong for him to come back.
I don't think he'd be a Bayern come start next season though.
No, it's like an X in it. You don't go back. It never really works out.
Exactly.
Never really works out.
There we go. Right, into the main crux of it then. It's my job to start. So I got to ask you, what is your earliest football memory? Could be playing, could be watching, anything that involves a football. What is your earliest memory of it?
Okay, it's probably playing then. I've got an older brother. He's 4 years older than me. So that's part of the reason I was a goalie when I played, was because we'd just be in the garden. He'd be like, "Well, you're in goal. I'm not going in goal. You're obviously in goal." He was 4 years older than me. He wasn't very good at football. He won't watch this. It's fine. He wasn't.
Neither will anyone else.
No. Oh yeah, true. All right. I was world class basically. If no one's watching, I was world class in goal. But no, I was decent. I was a decent goalie. I think that was because he was older, and then I'd always play with his mates, who were just better at kicking a ball at that age. They could just kick it harder. So I had to learn to play against older lads, which then made it a lot easier when I was playing with people my age. So
you must have been tipped to be like the next big thing then, around your area.
Yeah, the next.
Oh, here we go. Here we
go. No, I got offered a few trials at some clubs when we played against them, but my mum and dad didn't drive, so that was a dream that never quite got fulfilled. But yeah, I was probably the best goalie in our league, like around here, which is not that great, and I played for Real for a bit, so I was all right. Whereas now, I've played a couple of times this year, and it's embarrassing. Honestly, it's embarrassing. I can't do it. I've had to retire, and I'm 24.
Wheel a few of your brother's older mates out just a bit of kicking practice.
Yeah, I need to practice, but I've retired. I think from 11 aside, 5 aside, I can make myself look all right because I pretty much fill the goal. But 11 aside is just a no go anymore.
Is there a have a word 5 aside team?
Well, there's only 5 of us really. Like
Banger. There we are.
Yeah, they've always been like, I'll be in goal. I'm just bored of being in goal now. If you spend your whole life in goal, you just...
everyone does that. Oh, every goalkeeper our age will always end up as a striker.
Yeah, you're just
100%.
I'm a frustrated centre mid, is what I am. They used to shout at me in PE when we were in high school because I'd just come outfield. I just sit in centre mid and just spray Steven Gerrard. I just wanted to be Steven Gerrard. I'd just spray 60-yard pass. I wouldn't really run, wouldn't really defend. I just walk about like Dimitar Berbatov and just spray balls about. But yeah, I'm a frustrated centre mid.
Goalkeeper who identifies as a centre mid.
Yeah. You can identify as whatever you want these days. So I'm identify as a centre
He's a centre mid.
I'm a centre mid, yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Right. So what would you say as a football fan has been the biggest high of your time as a football
fan? Good question. It's been the past few years. I won't lie. The past few years of Liverpool has been. I remember just thinking during it was like you've got to appreciate it because these teams don't come around that often, and they've not won as much as if Man City weren't there, we would have done. But I think the most I've ever celebrated a goal was I went to watch the second leg against Villarreal last year for the Champions League in the semi-final. And we go 2-0 down or 3-0 down. And it was a comfortable, we'd taken a lead into the second leg. And I was absolutely leathered because in Spain, they don't do their measures by half. So by kickoff, I am chatting to the Red Men TV, who are a fan channel. They're one of the biggest Liverpool fan channels. And I watched you since I was 10. I love you guys like that because Adam knew them and I only just met them. So we were watching the game together. We went down and at halftime I'm going, I can't come to European away because I'm a jinx. Obviously, I've cost the team the tie essentially. We're going to go out.
This is all going in your head. Like, this is all logical.
Yeah. This is all. I'm not externalizing any of this. I'm just staring at the pitch, and then we came back and we eventually won that game. And I think that first goal where it got us the aggregate lead again, I've never celebrated a goal like that. That was screaming, grabbing people I don't know. That was probably the high for me. There's obviously been like more important games, like wins of trophies and stuff, but that I've never celebrated a goal like that.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Right. So the yin to the yang. Your highest point was that. So what is your lowest point as a football fan?
Oh, maybe the Champions League again last year. It's probably recency bias, all this, but it was the fact we came away with 2 trophies when we could have come away with 4 at the end of that season. I watched the Champions League final in the Olympia in Liverpool. They did a screen in there. And at the end of the game, I was just sat on the floor. I didn't know what to do with myself. I wasn't like crying or anything, but I was just like numb. I was just like, oh, this is it. This is it. I thought we'd have them over because we played better on the night, and it's Real Madrid, isn't it? They've just got it.
That's true, yeah.
They've just got it in them.
There's something about Madrid in the Champions League. There just is. I don't even know what it is, but this is what I mean now. If City can beat them in the semis, if City beat Madrid, they've won the Champions League.
Yeah, I don't have any doubt about that.
That's the final.
Yeah. But they did it again to us this year. I was at the match at Anfield and we went 2-0 up in about 15 minutes. And they got 1 and you're like, oh, this is it. They're coming back. They're coming back. Yeah. And then I think it was 5-2 in the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was Real Madrid at my lowest moment. Just all of it.
Anytime they've been involved in anything.
Yeah, anytime we play them, apart from the 4-0 years ago. But it was too little for that, really.
There we go.
Moving on, what's been your best away day that you've been to?
I feel like we got a rough idea.
Yeah, it's probably that Villarreal one.
Yeah.
But I'll give you another little story. I won a competition when I was 11 or 12. It was like a goalkeeper competition, and it was. I know it was stupid. Do you know Sondico, the brand, the crap brand? So they were running a competition. It was like you just got to share.
Who gets the hardest red ass? Yeah. Whoever wins wins the competition.
So it was it was a competition with Ali Al Habsi, was what it was.
Unbelievable.
So
unbelievable.
First place got to train with Al Habsi for a day. They got to go to Wigan and got to do a training session. Second place, which I thought at the time, I was like, that's the better prize, is complimentary tickets for you and your family to any game at the DW. So
right.
I got second place, and I remember thinking, sound okay. So I picked Liverpool against Wigan, and it was Suarez scored a hat trick. I think it was 2012-13. So it was his kind of, he was at his peak at that point. And we got to watch that game. And then I got to go back and I met Aruna Kone. I met Ali Al Habsi.
I used to love Aruna Kone on FIFA. He was my ultimate FIFA card. I loved him.
Yeah. James McCarthy. They are very different people. I want to make that clear. But yeah, that was my first like brush with fame, as it were. I got to meet those guys. I didn't get to meet any of the Liverpool players, unfortunately, but that was a great day. Kind of got treated like a king for the day.
You did have to go to Wigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not difficult to be treated like a king in Wigan, is it?
I'm just thinking as well. Alex referenced the game Red Arse. Is that just a South Wales thing that we call it that, or is it called?
So we called it sore arse, but some people call it Red Arse.
Yeah.
It's not one of them house codes.
I didn't even click there was a language barrier there. Sore arse.
I don't know. The games like that are bizarre. It's like British Bulldog, isn't it, in school? Like,
yeah. Oh no, but what I wouldn't do for a game of Soros now with my mates from high school.
Yeah, I
Same.
know.
Same.
I'd love it, but
I
no
would-
I
one would.
always lost, though.
Yeah.
I always lost.
Yeah, a game of
Always.
British Bulldog now. I think that should be like mandatory every year.
Yeah,
Like-
that's the reunion.
Yeah, instead of school
Yeah.
reunions, you just meet up and just like rugby tackle each other in the field. 100%.
Yeah.
You have to have the teachers just being like, you can't play just for nostalgia.
Yeah,
And then you have
Yeah.
to change the name and play it under a different name.
yeah.
Is that happening
I-
anyone else in school? Would that happen in your school as well, Al?
British Bulldog.
I had a bad experience at British. One of the I was only year 7 at the time. One of the year 11s picked me up, dump tackled me. I was in the bath, frozen. Like I went home that day. I was in the bath. I was like, Mum, I'm not going back to school tomorrow. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
God. Right.
Anyhow, right. So we've had best away day. What is on your football bucket list?
That's the furthest we've gone off track in about a
It
year.
is, yeah. That was
That
dreadful.
tends to happen. Sorry.
Sorry.
I think a game. I'd like to go and see Besiktas, which are my Turkish team, and I just think a Turkish away day, from the scenes you see, just looks great, and it looks scary. But
Who are their rivals?
It's Fenerbahce and Galatasaray. It's both.
They're just all
yeah.
three just hate
Yeah,
each other. Right.
I think all the Turkish people just hate each other. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just there's no like individual rivals. But yeah, Besiktas are the team that my family supports in Turkey, so I'd love to go and watch them.
Where's that come from?
My dad's Turkish, so that whole side of the family
that'll
are
be that then.
Turkish. He doesn't care about football, but the rest of the family are Besiktas fans. So yeah,
I'd love to go to a Turkish game. It's like no pyro, no party, you know. It's just
Yeah.
mental out there. It's crazy.
yeah, it's the same with the South American ones, isn't it? Those ones
Yeah.
kind of look the most ferocious.
No,
Yeah.
I would 100%. It's
The
not quite
South
what it is over here.
A South American derby is I think our most common answer for what's on the bucket list.
Yeah.
I think, other than like, I don't know, your country winning the World Cup, but
But you can forget about that.
I
Sorry,
didn't know I could
buddy.
pick that. I didn't know I could pick that.
You might as well not bother. Not
yeah,
happening.
no,
Sorry.
not after December. Eh? Oh god, Gareth Bale upset me. That's another one that's upset me.
yeah,
The day he retired, I was very.
Oh,
upset.
really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you know, that's nice to hear. That is nice to hear. I gotta say.
Finn is Welsh, mind Alex.
Yeah.
You're Welsh.
Yeah. North
Where
Wales.
have I been then? Sorry, I do apologise. When you said Rill earlier on, you said Rill. I thought, oh, do you know what? Fair play. I didn't realise you were from
Yeah.
this side of the border.
Yes.
This is not an
Embarrassing.
uncommon occurrence on
Yeah.
send him off. Like, this is like
Alex,
Alex
hasn't done his
being
research.
blissfully unaware of something.
It's
Yeah.
fine. I don't have the accent like you guys. Thankfully, I don't have the North Walian accent. 'Cause that is one of the ugliest accents on planet Earth. I hate it.
I don't think we've got any listenership up there, so you know you're not offending anybody.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Don't worry.
Not yet,
Um,
anyway.
We've barely got any listenership in South Wales, mate. Don't, you know, we're on our way though, hopefully. Right, this is my favorite question. What is your football guilty pleasure? And then // who or what would you put in football room 101?
Okay. Right. So guilty pleasure in terms of like a player, or
It could be anything.
Whatever you want.
but then it's probably FIFA. The amount of time I spend playing FIFA is obscene. I would love to in a kind of a kind of sadistic way look at the figures of the amount of time I've played FIFA for my life, because it's the only game I play. I don't play anything else.
same.
Nothing else.
If you had to guess how many hours, how many days you've spent, are
It
we
would
talking days, months? What?
It would be
frame
months.
Time?
It'd be months.
How
Yeah.
many do you think you've spent over your lifetime?
Well, I don't know. I started playing in 2004. That was my first FIFA. And
FIFA 04.
FIFA 04. The soundtrack for that is unbelievable. Fool's Gold, Kings of Leon, Red Morning Light, Jerk It Out. Unbelievable soundtrack. I've played every FIFA after that. So it's coming up to 20 years. That's just made me feel sick.
That
God.
was a really dreadful thing you just said. 20
Don't mind
years.
me. I'll just be having an existential crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's 20 years this year when the FIFA comes out. It's not FIFA anymore, is it? They're changing it.
Yeah, they're changing it to EA Sports or something
yeah.
like that now, isn't it? Yeah.
So I've played every year. Yeah, it's got to be like months and months of my time. And since Ultimate Team started as well. That because I used to just do career mode, and that was
how much money do you reckon you spent?
A career mode is my favorite thing to do.
That's fun, and they've brought back a feature that I've been dying for them to bring back. They had it in FIFA 05. This is so nerdy. FIFA 05, they had intervening in the sim, so you could sim the game. It'd go slowly, and if you were losing, you could jump in and save the team essentially. And they got rid of it for years.
15 years later, nearly they brought it back.
They brought it back. But yeah, I've played so much FIFA. My Ultimate Team.
How much do you reckon you've spent just on Ultimate Team? How much? How many numbers?
So I'm currently banned from the transfer market due to buying coins, which is my own fault. Because I didn't really buy packs. That was never my thing. It's a weird way of looking at it, but I was always like, well, you're guaranteed with the coins. If you buy coins, you know what you're getting. The packs will do you over more often than not.
I've been stiffed too many times.
Yeah. I think it's nearing, I don't know, it's probably like 500, 600 quid, maybe a bit more. It's not, I know, mate, I was going to worse than that.
I was going to say, I was going to expect a lot more money there. So that's not too bad. That's not too bad.
No, it's not. It's too much for a fake player or a fake game.
But nothing to be real. That's a lot of money in fairness.
Thierry Henry's worth a lot of money and he's worth every penny.
So guilty pleasure is your FIFA.
Yeah.
And all that comes with it. Room 101, what are you saying?
Probably also FIFA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
I've got a real love-hate relationship with it, by which I love it when I'm winning. And if I'm not winning, then it can ruin my day.
Yeah.
Too much.
It's never your fault when you're losing, is it? It's always like this is.
It's always the referee.
It's a stupid game. This is. It's rubbish. It's a stupid game. It's a crap game.
But then also I can be a bit sadistic with it and just keep playing even when I know I'm playing crap and just being beaten 5-0 and just going, no, I'm going to play the whole game. I'm not going to quit. You need to learn. You need to learn that you're not good enough for this division. You need to get relegated, go again.
That's a tough mindset. That is a tough mindset.
Yeah.
I rate it though. I rate it. So FIFA for both. I've never had that. FIFA for both answers.
I think anyone that plays FIFA would say that.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah. It's the best game. It's also the worst game. Same with Footy. Well, Footy Manager's not as bad. You don't get as there's not as many losses. The losses come a lot quicker on FIFA. But yeah, Footy Manager, I've not downloaded it this year because I lose too much.
You've given up on your will still dream.
Well, I'm on the past 2 years Footy Manager, which has been like a life goal. It's a reason I signed for a team was because they're on Footy Manager. I was like, oh, I want to be. Well, my mate was on it first, and he's like, I've got that over you. He was talking about the podcast. He's like, well, I've got Footy Manager over you. I was like, right, I'll just join your team then. I'll be on Footy Manager as well. So I've been on it the past 2 years. Last year, I did use the editor and make myself. I think this is quite sad. I made myself good enough to be the backup goalie. I never made myself world class. So I was like, I'm not as good as Alisson, but I can
be cheeky.
I can be Quivine Kelleher. That's fine. I can be that good. Yeah. So, but this year I've not downloaded it.
That's brilliant. I love that. It could be Alisson's backup.
Yeah.
Right. This is our profound question.
Mm-hmm.
What does the game mean to you?
Oh.
FIFA, football, sorry, not FIFA.
Yeah.
Just to clarify.
Football. It's a difficult one, that, isn't it?
It is.
Have you had, I bet people have been eloquent about this.
Yeah, we've had, like, Ishan give a really nice, answer about it.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
It's a sense of community, isn't it? It's going to sound so.
I can see he's going. He's got the old Thierry Henry lips. He's like,
yeah. I'm not confident in what I'm saying. I'm just
no. Say what it is. Say what it is.
So yeah, with I think it's you're brought up on it, aren't you? So you don't have a choice. You just know when you get to an age where you are a person. I was a Liverpool fan, and I didn't have any say in that, and I'm happy about that because you go through the highs and the lows as a community. I think social media is horrific for football. I terrific for a lot of things, but for football especially, it's made things so divisive, and you can't even like a player without someone going, "Nah, he's the worst. He's terrible."
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a real sense of community, and going to the match is one of my favorite things to do in life, and just watching football is just great at any level. Even if you go to Sunday League, you get something out of it. It's one of the things I love most in life, and one of the things I think about the most in life. I think about it far too much in terms of things I could be thinking about. Yeah, that wasn't very eloquent, but it means a lot.
I think
it means a lot, doesn't it? It means a lot, and I will consume it at every given opportunity. If I'm watching Hertha Berlin against Cologne, I have no interest in that game, but I will watch it if it's on, and I'm doing nothing else. So I think that says a lot about how important it is in like everyday life.
Yeah,
agreed. Totally agreed. Fair play.
All right. We'll skip a couple of questions because I know you got a gig to get to, Finn. So, who do you think will win the Premier League?
Oh, it's Man City, isn't it?
You reckon City?
So?
Yeah.
This will be going out after the Man City Arsenal game on Thursday or Wednesday.
Are they at home? City are at,
I think they are.
I really think they're going to wipe the floor with them.
Do you think so?
And it's very sad. Yeah, I think Saliba's been such a big miss for Arsenal.
Yeah.
And you could see it coming from a mile off. There's clubs. If it was Tottenham in that position, I think if it was someone like Chelsea who are having a great season, I think you'd think, oh no, they've got it in and they win Premier Leagues over the past 15 years or something. Arsenal have just got that. They've not got the bottle. They've not got the bottle. They've had an unbelievable season. Arteta has proved so many people wrong. I like a lot of their players. Odegaard is such an exciting player. And it's been great to see a wonder kid actually go and be a wonder kid.
Yeah.
And they've got a lot of likable players. It's just they've not got it in them. It's a shame.
Run out of puff.
I hope I'm wrong, because I can't stand the City and the misery they've caused me the past few years. I wish they weren't a club anymore. But yeah, I think they're going to do it.
It's a shame, isn't it? That is a shame.
Yeah.
Right, final question. We'll let you go. Out of everything you said, favorite football memory. What is your favorite football memory? Doesn't even have to be one that you picked before. Could be anything.
Okay, so the Champions League final we won, which was 2018, 2019, sorry. At my house, we hosted like a party for it, and we had all of my friends, my brother's friends, my sister's friends, everyone. And we set up my PA system that I use for gigs in the garden. We had a big screen in there, and we had the final there. We had a fire, and I remember that night was just like perfect. We scored in the first minute, so everyone was chilled. Everyone was just getting drunk. That was a really nice kind of. When you look back with rose tinted glasses, that was a brilliant night. So I'll go for that.
Yeah, perfect.
Great memory.
Perfect.
Great. There we are. I think that's that one wrapped up. Finn, thank you so much for joining us, mate. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it.
Do you want to tell people where they can find, first of all, you? I know your music as well. Is there a new single out? Is Take a Ride? Is it?
Yeah.
I'm enjoying that. I liked it.
Thank you, mate.
Listen, it's very good, mate. Tell people where they can find the music and the pod. I know you guys are going on tour as well.
Yes. Well, I'll promote me first because the pod doesn't need any more promoting. So I am at Finley K on Twitter, at finley.kk on Instagram. I've got a gig in Liverpool if anyone's in the Northwest or fancy traveling on the 24th of June, Saturday, debut gig with my band. I'm really looking forward to that. And then, the podcast, Have a Word Pod, is at Have a Word Pod on all socials. And we're doing a tour. We're going places. Where are we going? Birmingham.
Going places, baby.
Birmingham, Newcastle, Dublin, and Glasgow. So if you're in any of those cities, check it out.
Fantastic.
There we are. Sorted. Lovely. Finn, thank you so much. Alex, pleasure as always. And
as always,
we'll see you guys next week. Thank you for listening. Take care. Have a good week. Cheers.
See you later.